The Kansas FFA Association covers a vast land with over 9,000 members in 7 districts. Each of these districts has an officer team who plans Green Hand conferences and the district banquet.
Each district officer team was invited to participate in the District Officer Challenge, allowing teams to showcase their abilities. The District Officer Challenge is an opportunity for district FFA officers to advocate on behalf of FFA agricultural education and technical education. With sections focusing on social media use, district-wide activities, and agricultural promotion, the challenge highlighted some of the existing district promotional efforts.
Today, we have the top 3 placing teams for recognition. The second runner-up in the District Officer Challenge, receiving an enrichment resource, was the South Central District. The first runner-up in the District Officer Challenge, also receiving an enrichment resource, was the Southeast District. And the winner of the District Officer Challenge this year, receiving an enrichment experience over the summer, was the North Central District. Please join us in another round of applause for all of our district officer teams who worked hard to amplify agricultural and FFA.
place. And when you get to the finish line, will you wish for more time or say one day? One day you will, but maybe one day you will find that you just can't push rewind. All we have is this moment. Tomorrow's unspoken. Yesterday is history. So why don't you be here with me? All we have is this moment to put our love into motion. Yesterday is history. So why don't you be here with me? Be here with me now. Do you ever think that we're just chasing our tails, like life is one big fast treadmill, and we pop what is prescribed if it gets us first prize? But you know who I think will win are the ones that love it, are the ones that take the time. All we have is this moment. Tomorrow's unspoken. Yesterday is history. So why don't you be here with me? All we have is this moment to put love into motion. Yesterday is history. So why don't you be here with me? Be here with me now. Be here with me now. 'Cause the future is right now, right in front of you. Don't let the clock tell you what to do. Our future is right now, I'm in front of you. Baby, don't blink and miss this moment. Tomorrow's unspoken. Yesterday is history. So why don't you be here with me? All we have is this moment to put
Check one.
Mic check.
1, 2.
Check.
Check.
Check 1, 2.
Check.
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 We lead with our voice, amplify, crank it up, soar it into greatness. There's no such thing as loud enough. We lead with our voice, amplify, crank it up, soar it into greatness. Ain't no such thing as loud enough.
Stand up and get loud. Speak up, speak out. Reach up and take hold. Surge into a life that is bold.
Amplify, our goals, our life, our voice. Amplify, FFA. Amplify, our goals, our life, our voice. Amplify. We about the action, honor, integrity. Boost up your impact, up into infinity. Electrify your voice, speak out. Crank it up until it leaves no doubt.
Sprint into a life where we never settle. Getting to the next level. Boost your impact, be influential. Make ourselves known and show them our potential.
Amplify,
please stand as Joe Bowden of the South Barber FFA chapter sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hey, can we ask you a few questions? What is maize?
Maze.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
What is maize?
Now I feel like I might sound. It's some type of plant, corn. No, it's a high school in Wichita. Maize is a type of corn.
Maize is corn. Corn.
Maize is corn. Corn.
Yeah, absolutely. What part of the cow does the ham come from?
I'm gonna say the stomach. I'm not positive.
The tasty part. The thigh.
Okay, what part of the cow does the ham come from?
The rump.
Ham?
No, it's from a pig. What part of the cow does the ham come from?
Ham comes from a pig.
Hey. So, where does your food come from?
The store. Farms.
From farmers, from animals, unless you're a vegetarian.
Where does your food come from?
My dad. He's a farmer.
Kansas. From Kansas.
Where does your food come from?
Farmers and just hard workers everywhere, not necessarily just farmers.
rush! Let 'em rush!
It is a tradition of the Kansas FFA for the state champion ritual demonstration team to present opening ceremonies during the second session. Please help me welcome the Labette County FFA chapter to present opening ceremonies.
The convention hall will come to order. We are now holding the second session of the 88th Kansas FFA State Convention. Madam Vice President, are all officers at their stations?
I shall call the roll of officers, determine if they're at their stations, and report back to you, Madam President. The Sentinel.
Stationed by the door.
Your duties there?
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see that the door is open to our friends at all times and that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the president in maintaining order.
The reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to Puerto Rico and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The treasurer.
Stationed at the emblem of Washington,
Your duties there?
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standings through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn.
Your duties there?
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The advisor.
Here by the owl.
Why stationed by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I am asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Madam Vice President, why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is the symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is the token of a new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Madam President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The secretary will call the roll of members.
I am pleased to announce at this, the second session of the 88th Kansas FFA State Convention, there are 1,402 members, advisors, and guests present, Madam President.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here? To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA member should possess. May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare this, the second session of the 88th Kansas FFA State Convention, duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented.
Thank you. Let's give the Labette County FFA chapter another round of applause as they exit the stage. Social media guru, Marvel movie fanatic, and marvelous vocalist are a few of the words that can describe this next session's chair. An individual that will never pass up a trip to grab a Sonic drink during happy hour or Call Hall ice cream at lunchtime. His love for FFA and the members is the only thing that truly exceeds his love for the K-State Wildcats. Please give a warm round of applause for your 2015-2016 Kansas FFA reporter, Mr. Kyler Langvard.
Thank you, Carl. Good morning, Kansas FFA members and guests, and welcome to the second session of the 88th Kansas State Convention. This morning, we have the chance to celebrate those members who have amplified their experiences to the next level. The first thing that comes to mind when I hear the word amplify is music. Music is all around us. It's our alarm clocks in the morning, that song we jam to on the radio, and the sounds of crickets chirping on a cool summer night. Music is not only all around us, but it is also diverse. From the classic 50s rock of the Beatles to the steel string and country of Alan Jackson and George Strait, to the men and women who can rhyme anytime in rap and hip hop. Just like there are many different genres of music, this morning we will celebrate the many different areas members have achieved success and dedicated their time and efforts in their respective areas. To start off, we recognize those individuals who desire to dedicate a year of service to the Kansas FFA Association as state officers. Next, Kansas Farm Bureau community grant recipients and those chapters selected as winners in the National Chapter Award area in community development will be announced. Then congratulate those members whose hard work and achievement resulted in them receiving the American FFA degree. Next, hear the motivating words of your Kansas FFA Secretary, Dean Clare, as he delivers his retiring address. The top individuals in the Leadership Information Test and the KAAE Essay Contest will be recognized, followed by the words of wisdom by our music-loving Central Region Vice President, Ms. Abermeyer. Finally, celebrate those members who, through their hard work and dedication to their supervised agricultural experience programs, earned recognition in the first half of our Proficiency pageant. Get ready for a great morning as we celebrate the many achievements of members who amplify their experience here at the second session of the Kansas FFA Convention. The first members that we will meet this morning are taking the phrase amplify our voices to the next level. The FFA has struck a chord with these members, and they now hope to use their time to positively influence members from across our home on the range. These 17 candidates have gone through a process of interviews, speeches, and facilitation experiences with the delegates. Never missing a beat, each of these individuals are qualified and are ready to serve in the upcoming year. Like the famous singer Adele, here are our 2016-2017 Kansas FFA officer candidates to say hello.
Good morning, Kansas FFA. I'm Caitlin Bonenblust from the Clay Center FFA chapter.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Isaac Bronco, and I proudly hail from the Rock Creek FFA chapter.
Hello, Kansas FFA. I am Jessie Carr, and I proudly represent the Jayhawk Lynn FFA chapter.
Good morning. I am Lance Coe, and I proudly represent the Jackson Heights FFA chapter.
Good morning, Kansas FFA. I am Hannah Fry, and I proudly represent the Uniontown FFA chapter.
Hi, Kansas FFA. I'm Jake Grinstead, and I'm a member of the Bueller FFA chapter.
Good morning, Kansas FFA. I'm Keaton Johnson, and I proudly represent the Winfield FFA chapter.
Good morning, Kansas FFA. I'm Grace Lubke, and I'm proudly hail from the Marysville FFA chapter.
Good morning, Kansas FFA. I'm Janelle Marney, and I proudly hail from the Royal Valley FFA chapter.
Good morning, FFA. I am Faith McClaskey, and I proudly represent the Girard FFA chapter.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mallory Meek, and I proudly represent the Spring Hill FFA chapter.
Good morning. I am Elizabeth Meyer from the Marion Florence FFA chapter.
Good morning, Kansas FFA. I am Joel Nelson, and I proudly represent the Jackson Heights FFA chapter.
Good morning, Kansas FFA. I'm Macy Ruckers, and I proudly represent the Anderson County FFA chapter.
Welcome, Kansas FFA. I'm Hannah Soltz, and I proudly represent the Winfield FFA chapter.
Hello, Kansas FFA. I'm Trenton Smedley, and I come from the Cherryville FFA chapter.
Good morning, Kansas FFA. I'm Clara Wyckoff, and I proudly represent the Iola FFA chapter.
Congratulations to each of you. And we appreciate your desire and dedication to help members amplify their experiences in the FFA with a year of service to the Kansas FFA Association. We wish you the best of luck throughout the week. While scrolling through multiple playlists, I noticed that I love listening to collaborations. The moment that two artists come together to create one great piece of music is amazing. These next chapters have showed dedication to collaborate with their Kansas Farm Bureau to serve their communities. The Kansas Farm Bureau has recognized the financial need of chapters within our state and awarded 11 chapters with grants who have developed a project and were paired with a Farm Bureau representative. Because of their service plans in the future, they will be awarded a $500 community grant, which they will use to complete their projects and fulfill their desire of service. Terry Holdren of Kansas Farm Bureau will present the awards. Mr. Secretary, will you read the names of the chapters receiving grants?
The chapters receiving Kansas Farm Bureau grants are the Atchison County FFA chapter, the Atwood FFA chapter, the Fairfield FFA chapter, The Garden City FFA chapter. The Holcomb FFA chapter. The Inman FFA chapter. The Lynn FFA chapter. The Meridazine Valley FFA chapter. The Rural Valley FFA chapter. The Russell FFA chapter. The Skyline FFA chapter. Let's give one more round of applause to our 2016 Kansas Farm Bureau grant winners.
In my home community of Chapman, we love having celebrations throughout the year to make sure everyone comes together and reconnects. One of these great celebrations is our annual Labor Day festivities. Starting with the street dance and ending with the parade of music and floats and bands, music is always present. The music, combined with the sounds of friends and family reconvening, can make any person smile. These next chapters all work hard to bring their communities together using their time and talents, achieving success in the National Chapter Award in Community Development. Janet Barrows and Steve Morgan are here representing the sponsors of this award, Farm Credit Associations of Kansas. Mr. Secretary, please read the names of the award-winning chapters in the area of community development.
In the Bronze Division, the Fort Scott FFA chapter. The Inman FFA chapter. The Iola FFA chapter. The Jackson Heights FFA chapter. The Medicine Lodge FFA chapter. The Quinter FFA chapter. The Valley Heights FFA chapter. The Wichita County FFA chapter. Join me in congratulating our Bronze Division winners. In the Silver Division, the Atchison County FFA chapter. The Axtell FFA chapter. The Blue Valley FFA chapter. The Caney FFA chapter. The Center FFA chapter. The Cherryvale FFA chapter. The Clay Center FFA chapter. The El Saline FFA chapter. The Eudora FFA chapter. The Fairfield FFA chapter. The Fredonia FFA chapter. The Girard FFA chapter. The Jefferson West FFA chapter. The Lynn FFA chapter. The Meridazine Valley FFA chapter. The Marysville FFA chapter. The Natoma FFA chapter. The Norton FFA chapter. the Prairie View FFA chapter, the Republic County FFA chapter, the Rock Creek FFA chapter, the Rock Hills FFA chapter, the Roll Valley FFA chapter, the Russell FFA chapter, the Sabetha FFA chapter, the Southern Coffee County FFA chapter, the Stafford FFA chapter, the Udall FFA chapter, the Uniontown FFA chapter, the Wamego FFA chapter, the West Elk FFA chapter, the Yates Center FFA chapter. Let's show our appreciation one more time for our Silver Division winners. And now for the chapters in the Gold Division of Community Development. In 18th place, the Washington County FFA chapter. In 17th place, the Anderson County FFA chapter. In 16th place is the Jayhawk Lynn FFA chapter. Placing 15th is the Hugoton FFA chapter. In 14th place is the Doniphan West FFA chapter. Earning 13th place is the Hiawatha FFA chapter. Receiving 12th place honors is the Ellsworth FFA chapter. In 11th place is the Tonganoxie FFA chapter. Placing 10th is the Gossel FFA chapter. In 9th place is the Hayes FFA chapter. In 8th place is the Winfield FFA chapter. In 7th place is the Arkansas City FFA chapter. In 6th place is the Holton FFA chapter. Placing 5th is the Riverton FFA chapter. Earning 4th place is the Mission Valley FFA chapter. In 3rd place is the Southwestern Heights FFA chapter. In 2nd place is the Bueller FFA chapter. And the winner of the National Chapter Award in Community Development is the Chapman FFA chapter. Let's recognize all of our chapters once again as they exit the stage.
The Chapman FFA chapter is the winner of this year's National Chapter Award in the area of community development. To help local food pantries and those in need of food, the Chapman FFA chapter utilized the Invest an Acre program, where farmers were encouraged to donate proceeds from 1 acre of their crops to the Kansas Food Bank. With a match from Monsanto, the project raised over $23,000 and provided over 15,000 pounds of food to people throughout the county. Chapman FFA partnered with their local conservation office in the Save a Drop activity, which helped to educate children on environmental issues and understanding the importance of natural resources, with chapter members serving as group leaders and presenters throughout the day. To help keep the public informed about the importance of agriculture, Chapman FFA members designed and hung signs with different agricultural facts that members decided were important to know at different buildings in the school district, which were visible to those passing the school on the roadways. Chapman FFA has 91 members, and the advisors are Johanna Reichert and Alex Jost. Congratulations to the Chapman FFA chapter for winning the National Chapter Award in the area of community development.
It is my honor to welcome Dylan Clare to the stage for a very special introduction.
Good morning. My name is Dylan Clare, and over the past 12 months, you have gotten to know my little brother, Dean. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I know he has enjoyed getting to know you. I've had the pleasure of getting to know him for the past 19 and a half years, and let me tell you, it's been a trip. I remember being 5 years old and so excited for a little brother to come into my life. However, that did not last very long. Who knew several years later we'd get into fights and try to call mom and dad behind each other's backs in hopes of getting the other one in trouble. We'd be best friends one minute and enemies the next over the years. I never thought that having a little brother would be such a pain. First off, he got all of the attention. He got away with everything by simply saying it was an accident, and everything was an accident, whether he broke it or lost it. And who could forget all the times he got scared in the middle of the night and had to come into my room and wake me up. He always has more energy than anyone I know and can talk your ear off while simultaneously touching everything around you. To this day, he still gets on my nerves from time to time. Even though we didn't always get along when we were little, after I went to college, we grew closer. I'm so proud of him for all of his hard work, from winning grand champion at the Jackson County Fair with his steer, becoming president of the Holton FFA chapter, graduating among the top of his high school class, and of course, becoming a Kansas FFA officer. He may not know it, but he's one of my best friends and a great inspiration for me to work harder myself. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce someone I will always look up to, my little brother and your Kansas State FFA Secretary, Dean Clare.
My dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about now.
Sports growing up were tough. And if you saw my hand-eye coordination, you'd understand why. From getting a black eye in baseball to not making basketball cuts in 7th grade. So when it came time for football, I finally had my chance. I could play offensive guard and not once have to touch that ball. As a not-so-skinny middle schooler, this position fit me perfectly. But between 8th grade and freshman year, my height skyrocketed and my weight plummeted to a whopping 135 pounds. Being a lineman just became a whole lot harder. I knew that if I ever wanted to see the field, I'd have to work harder and listen to coach's advice. Chop my feet faster, get lower, push harder, but most importantly, gain some weight. By senior year, I pushed myself to an impressive 175, but still weighed less than our quarterback. The very first scrimmage, I lined up across from a very, very large man and waited for the call. Down, set, go. I looked back to see my guy sacking the quarterback. After a stern talking to from coach, I thought back to what he had told me. And the next play, I chopped my feet faster, I got lower, I pushed harder, and managed to keep a guy twice my size from crossing the line of scrimmage. For the first time, coach was yelling at me to tell me good job, not the other way around. That year during football, I learned from taking the wrong steps, found a desire to push myself, and found happiness in the game. Oftentimes in life, we'll learn from mistakes made, use those lessons to pursue our passions, and find happiness in the process. It's every kid's dream to hear the words, "Okay, you can drive," for the first time. For some of us, it was driving across an empty parking lot or down an old country road. For myself, it was getting to drive the tractor during chore time. As a 3rd grader, my dad was hovered over me to make sure nothing went wrong. But absolutely nothing was going to hold back the thrill I felt behind that wheel. After chores, it came time to park the tractor back in the shed. And I started freaking out. I couldn't remember, do I press the pedal on the left or the right to stop? I thought back to when I was feeding hay, and when I pressed the pedal on the left, the tractor would slowly come to a stop. So seconds before impact, I slammed my left foot to the ground, and the tractor keeps rolling, because I had just engaged the clutch and not the brakes. All I can hear is my dad yelling at me, pushing me out of the way so we can reach the brakes, and I watch the spear of the tractor go straight through the wall of the shed. I laugh about it now, but in the moment, tears started rolling down my face, and I sprinted up to the house to hide in the shame of my pillow. Thoughts start rolling through my head. Dean, how could you have been so dumb? Dad finally trusted you to be like him, and you mess it up. Now he'll never look at you the same, and now there's a giant hole in the wall for everyone to see and laugh at when they come. My dad opens the door, and my crying turns into straight-out sobbing. But then he reminds me, we weren't created to be perfect beings. We were created to continually grow and learn from our mistakes. When we do something wrong in life, don't dwell on the negatives. Instead, focus on how we can fix the mistake and not allow it to happen again. To remind myself that everything in life happens for a reason, I look towards Romans chapter 5, verse 3. We rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, endurance produces character, character produces hope, and hope does not put us to shame. These words remind me that no matter how bad my mistake may have been, God meant for that event to happen in my life. When it seems as if I can't do anything right, I like to take a step back and take a deep breath. As if I'm letting go of all my past mistakes and the self-doubt that can seem to control my life. In fact, on the count of 3, everyone in McCain here with me, take a deep breath. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now, let's take a deep breath like we're letting go of all our past mistakes and letting all of our past failures out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Did you hear that? We're not the only ones in our lives that make mistakes. Those around us, our friends, our peers, those that we look up to make mistakes too. So why do we tear ourselves down and judge ourselves when we do something wrong? Yeah, some mistakes are worse than others, but it's how we learn from it that makes the mistake worthwhile and realizing that we have those around us to help us out. I don't know everyone in this auditorium. I don't know what mistakes we've made. Maybe something that comes to mind is we mismarked a Scantron at CDEs and made our team lose. Maybe we didn't study hard enough for that final exam, or maybe we didn't prepare for that speech contest and we went blank before the judges. Maybe our mistake's much deeper than that. What mistake are we struggling to move past? What lessons can be learned from that mistake? Regardless of the severity, every mistake in life is worth learning and growing from. We need to learn from our mistakes, believe that they happen for a reason, and use that lesson to push ourselves. Ever since I was a little kid, I have been absolutely obsessed with cows. When I had a rough day at school, I'd come home to see my girls, as I referred to them as, and my day would take a 180-degree turn because nothing in life seemed to make me happier. I don't know what the future has in store for me, but I do know one thing. Cattle will be a part of it. I have a dream of one day selling quality registered bulls. But the only problem with pursuing this passion of mine is that cows cost a lot of money. And spending that amount of money on the beginning steps of my dream is a big risk. The cattle market swings up and down, and I have college expenses quickly approaching. It was a risk I wasn't willing to take. But I knew if I wanted my dreams to come true, I'd have to do something about them. So I started managing my money wiser, focused my energy on organizations such as the 4-H and the FFA, and focused in on academics. I even took the ACT 7 times to ensure my maximum scholarship amount. I focused all my time and energy on taking the steps I thought were necessary to achieve my dream. Now I can say I've taken the beginning steps by being able to purchase a small herd of registered females that I can continue to grow from. We all have dreams in life, passions, something that we want to accomplish. But our passions are nothing more than a thought. Our passions are nothing more than an idea until we do something about them. A quote from one of my favorite movies, The Pursuit of Happiness, says, "You got a dream, you got to protect it. People are going to tell you you can't do it. You want something? Go get it. Period." When we realize how important our dreams and aspirations are to us, that we're willing to go out of our way to capture them, is when we can truly be immersed in the joys of life and find out who we've always been and who we've always dreamt of being. If we choose to ignore the thoughts and interests that control our minds on a daily basis, then how can we ever truly be happy in life? What are those interests that control our minds? What dream have we always wanted to work towards? What are the steps necessary in achieving that dream of ours? If we believe even for 1 second, that our dream is worth chasing, chase it. Go after whatever it is in life that you're passionate about, because you are the only one that decides what your passions are, and you are the only one that decides what role those passions will take in the rest of your life. Achieving our passions can be a difficult process, but one thing I found helps me through it is to simply keep a smile on my face. My mom is a perfect example of this. Last month, our family took a trip down to Houston, Texas for my cousin's wedding. The night before the reception, the entire family was invited out for dance lessons at a local hotspot. But to get into the dance lessons, we needed our IDs. And guess who forgot theirs? Yours truly. Without a moment's notice, my mom sacrificed the dance lesson she'd been looking forward to in order to take me back to the hotel. I got in the car, very upset with myself, and waited for the lecture that was sure to follow. But instead, my mom got in the car, chuckled, looked at me and said, "This happened so we could spend some quality time together." Looking back, that's now one of my fondest memories from the trip. We talked about life, joked with each other, and laughed at my mom's inability to safely drive in such a big city. But her ability to turn any situation from negative to positive is what makes her so special. She starts her days with the attitude of, "I'm going to be happy today, and there's nothing that you can do to stop it." We're given this one life, this one shot at making our time as great as we can. It's a task that's as great as we make it. Find the desire to submerge ourselves in enjoyment, happiness, and laughter, because there's joy to be found somewhere in every moment. We just have to seek it out. When we open our minds, change our perspective, and look at the world as a glass half full instead of half empty, things can change. When we believe that our life is worth living in the moment instead of waiting for the next, is when our journey can truly be unforgettable. Through the trials and through the tribulations, we can continue to chase our passions and keep our heads aimed high because we know there's a plan for us. When our short time on this earth is over, will others look back at a life lived to its fullest? Will they look back and think how we grew from everything life threw at us, how we spent our lives doing what made us happy, and that we left this world with a smile on our face? If there's one thing the FFA has taught me, it's that if we believe in the promise of better days through better ways, if we believe in our own ability to work efficiently and think clearly, then we can accomplish anything. Never be complacent with life. Believe that our mistakes are worth learning from. Believe that our passions are worth chasing. And believe that there's happiness somewhere in every moment.
Dean, your love of cows, Shania Twain, and Kansas FFA inspired us every day. You might not like spicy food, but you added the spice of life to our team, allowing us to laugh, smile, and love deeper than we could have ever imagined. Your ability to connect with members and handle everything you do with a grin is amazing. Thank you for always making time for us, and thank you for your year of service. In the words of Shania herself, you are only going up from here. Your teammates, friends, and forever family, Carl, Bailey, Lane, Kyler, and Gabrielle. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2015-2016 Kansas FFA Secretary, Dean Clare.
Our goals, our life, our voice. Amplify.
Starting off playing an instrument is never easy, but that is especially true when that instrument is a saxophone. My parents would swear that instead of a 6th grade Kyler in his room, that there was a dying animal. After 2 years of practice, the sounds of horror were replaced with the sweet sounds of jazz I loved to play. Similarly to my dedication playing the alto sax, these next members have dedicated a huge amount of time to earning the top degree that the FFA can offer. They have amplified their experiences in their communities and supervised agricultural experiences and have been rewarded for their efforts with the American FFA degree. Each of these recipients has received his or her state degree, has an outstanding supervised agricultural experience program where they earned and invested at least $7,500 or $1,500 and worked 2,200 hours and participated in 50 hours of community service. This degree is the highest degree our association can bestow. Please direct your attention to the screen as we recognize these recipients.
From the Axtell FFA chapter, Tracy Schmitz and Tricia Schmitz. From the Blue Valley FFA chapter, Kyle Apley. From the Bueller FFA chapter, Nate Pitts. From the Center FFA chapter, Carl Riffle. From the Chapman FFA chapter, Alexis Coberly. From the Clay Center FFA chapter, Alan Carlson and Morgan Hamill. From the Doniphan West FFA chapter, Samantha Albers, Ian Bollinger, Alan Dorrell, and Luke Rush. From the Eudora FFA chapter, Justin Leonard. From the Fort Scott FFA chapter, Michaela Johnson. From the Girard FFA chapter, Bethany Schifferdecker. From the Hill City FFA chapter, Chantel Simon. From the Hillsboro FFA chapter, Bryce Roberts. From the Hugoton FFA chapter, Micah Baylor. Brady Hager, Brady Marshall, and Mitchell Shelton. From the Jackson Heights FFA chapter, Cody Holliday. From the Labette County FFA chapter, Zachary Foster. From the Marion Florence FFA chapter, Clint Krupa, Nicholas Meyer, and Aaron Molliker. From the Marmaton Valley FFA chapter, Megan Maywis and Michael Swift Plashka. From the Mission Valley FFA chapter, Raylan McClelland. From the Neodesha FFA chapter, Kristen Dunham and Jackie Newland. From the Oakley FFA chapter, Ethan Schwartz. From the Onega FFA chapter, Chelsea Figge. From the Republic County FFA chapter, Trent Fry. Jeffrey Hadachek. Juliana Krotz. Jesse Stranad. And Brandon Zinger. From the Riverton FFA chapter, Isaac Cully. From the Rock Hills FFA chapter, Tyler Dusky. From the Southeast of Saline FFA chapter, Taylor Green. From the Southern Coffee FFA chapter, Miranda Allenbaugh. Luke Kraft. And Amanda Sherwood. From the Washington County FFA chapter, Samantha LaCure. And Corey Welch. From the West Franklin FFA chapter, Evan Woodbury. From the Yates Center FFA chapter, Brett McGee. Let's give a round of applause to all of our 2015 American Degree recipients.
While listening to the radio on my various road trips this year, I have always managed to find one new song that would fit perfectly in my playlist. Instead of scouring the internet to figure out the title of the song, I use the trusty app Shazam. As soon as you press the button, the app finds the song for you. These next members could be considered the FFA Shazams. Questions like, what year are women allowed in the FFA, and how many Proficiency Award categories are there, are all questions that they could answer right away. All their hard work has paid off, as the following members have landed amongst the top 10 individuals and top 5 chapters across the state in leadership information testing. Mr. Secretary, will you please announce those individuals in the leadership information test?
The top 10 individuals in ranking order are, in a tie for 8th place, Laura Sluter from the Jackson Jayhawk Lynn FFA chapter. Samantha Guy from the Girard FFA chapter. Gwen Dean from the Labette County FFA chapter. 7th place goes to Jacob Grinstead from the Buhler FFA chapter. In a tie for 5th place, Kaylee Egbert from the Girard FFA chapter and Leah Chandry from the Marysville FFA chapter. Receiving 4th place, Macy Rockers from the Anderson County FFA chapter. In a tie for 2nd place, Josh Turner from the Buhler FFA chapter and Clancy Sorrell from the Labette County FFA chapter. Taking 1st place is John Zimmerman from the Girard FFA chapter. Give our recipients one more giant round of applause After all individual scores were tabulated, top chapter scores were determined. The top 5 chapters in FFA information are, in 5th place, the Labette County FFA chapter. In 4th place, the Marysville FFA chapter. In 3rd place, the Jayhawk Lynn FFA chapter. In 2nd place, the Buhler FFA chapter. And this year's 1st place team in leadership testing is the Girard FFA chapter. Let's recognize all of our chapters and individuals once again for the knowledge they possess.
Each of us has that one set of lyrics in a song that we could shout at the top of our lungs. From Don't Stop Believin' to There Is a Party in the USA. Many of us could even sing the whole song if given the chance. These lyrics have become powerful. And just like those lyrics, members are using their words to make a difference in the KAAE essay contest. The Kansas Association of Agricultural Educators has provided members an opportunity to strive for excellence in the writing by sponsoring the KAAE essay contest. This year, the KAAE had members answer the question, why is it important for your local school to continue funding an agricultural education program? Today, we will recognize those members who achieved excellence in the KAAE essay contest. Each of the top 10 award winners will receive a cash award. Mr. Secretary, will you please read the names of the top 10 winners?
The results of the KAAE essay contest are, in ranking order, in 10th place, Zach Nielsen from the Solomon FFA chapter. In 9th place, Allie Julian from the Ellsworth FFA chapter. In 8th place, Dinah Mudrow from the Ellsworth FFA chapter. In 7th place, Megan Bielfeld from the Solomon FFA chapter. In 6th place, Sarah Thomas from the Chapman FFA chapter. In 5th place, Delaney Pospical from the Russell FFA chapter. In 4th place, Jessica Garrison from the Chapman FFA chapter. In 3rd place, Nathan Buss from the Jefferson West FFA chapter. In 2nd place, Caitlin Oldie from the Lynn FFA chapter. And placing first is Claire Oldie from the Lynn FFA chapter. Let's give one more round of applause to the top KAAE SA Award winners.
Our next speaker hails from the state of Iowa. She's an agricultural business major at Iowa State University. Within FFA, she has served in numerous leadership positions, including the state president in 2014 and 2015. She learned to play the piano at age 7 and is helping members realize that our greatest musical pieces were written while serving as the National Central Region Vice President. Please give a warm welcome to Ms. Abra Meyer as she delivers this morning's special address.
Give me a big old bucket of popcorn, a large Coke, sit back and watch a movie. I love movies. Now, Kansas FFA, make some noise if you love watching a good movie. Yeah. Now, let's hear it if we're action movie lovers out there. Yeah. How about comedy? Let's hear it. Okay, and boys, I know this one's for you. Make some noise if you love those chick flicks. Well, growing up, I loved watching movies, but one of my favorite was a good old Kansas-based movie, The Wizard of Oz. And I don't say that just because we're in Kansas today, but I say that because I had my very own pair of ruby red slippers. And I'd stand in my living room, close my eyes, and tap my feet together and say, like Dorothy, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. And then my mom would be like, what in the world is she doing? She's standing right in the living room. We are home. But what if there is no place like home? Because home really isn't a place at all. Home is more than the physical structure we live in. Home is the people who we surround ourselves with. Home is those memories we make both through those triumphs and those trials. Home is where our heart is. We must build our home, help others to build their home, and ultimately protect that home. Now, my home happened to be in Northeast Iowa, and I grew up with a brother who loved playing sports with me, from basketball to volleyball, but our all-time favorite was baseball. Now, it was a special day coming home from school because usually we would just go home to play catch, but this was a special day for me because I had gotten my very first baseball bat. And not only was it special, but hopefully you guys love it even more because it was purple. Go Wildcats, right? KSU? Hey! And so I was ready to try out my new basketball. So I struck my little 8-year-old self out to the backyard, and my dad had gotten home from work, so he was going to be the pitcher, and my brother was going to post up as the catcher. So I warm up, take a couple practice swings, and we're gearing up to go. And Dad starts throwing them in, and I'm like, shoot, bring it on. So I'm swinging away, and it's hit after hit, going great. It's like cornfield home runs in the middle of nowhere, Iowa. It's awesome. And so I'm hitting, and then Dad decides to get throwing a couple faster pitches. I'm like, shoot, there must be something wrong with this bat because I'm not hitting anything now. And I'm thinking, all right, old man's going to bring the heat. I'm about to bring it too. So, stare him down, and I make some 8-year-old version comment of like, old man, you are going down. So I post up, tighten up the grip on that bat, and my knuckles are probably whiter than snow, and I'm ready, and he throws the pitch, and connection. I'm looking for it. It's got to be that cornfield grand slam this time. And I'm not seeing it. I was about to do my happy dance, but I'm like, where did this ball go? And I look at my dad, and his jaw has dropped to the ground. I look at my mom, who's been like on the back porch reading Good Housekeeping or whatever moms read, and she's got this terrified look on her face, and that's when I hear it. Oh! You see, that connection that I made was not much of a home run at all. Instead, it was a foul tip that flew back, nailed my brother in the face, putting him on the ground. And for the next couple of weeks, I would go to school telling everyone I gave my brother a black eye. Like it was swollen shut, like black and blue and purple and all that good stuff. But in those moments, it was a time that I was building my home. Building my home with the memories I made with my dad and my brother playing baseball. With the time I spent with my mom traveling to those sporting events. Building my home around the relationships I had with my family. What are you doing to build your home? Maybe for some of us, it's that sport that we just love to play, and we're going to put up a couple shots in the gym or spend a couple extra hours on the field getting that practice in. For some of us, it might be playing that musical instrument or singing till our voice hurts. Maybe for some of us, it's investing those long hours into our SAE projects or spending time in the ag room with our fellow FFA members. Now, maybe some of us, it's not as easy, and we don't have those people who are our go-to, but if we think about it, FFA provides a spot for us to build up that home. Maybe it's sitting down with our ag teacher and finding what we love to do in FFA. We must build our home. And once we've built that home, we can realize that home is where the heart is. And then it's time to help others build their home. Now, I love road trips. How many of us are road trip lovers in here? We got a few, okay. Well, growing up, I loved road trips, but this was a special road trip because it was my first one as a college student. And to mix it up a little bit, it was jumping into the van with 11 strangers and heading to the great destination of Juarez, Mexico. Now, for those of us who don't know Juarez, let me cue you in. The population is 1.3 million people. And coming from a town of 800, that's just a little bit different. It was settled just south of the Texas border in Mexico. And at the time, it was the most dangerous city in the world. Every reason for an 18-year-old to go down to Juarez, Mexico with 11 strangers, right? Wrong, but I was like, sign me up. And my mom's like, stay at home, Abra. But I packed my stuff. I was ready for an adventure. So we jump in the car. It's in the middle of January, and we head down to the sunny spot of Juarez. And when we arrive, my perspective begins to change a little bit because I didn't exactly know what I was signing up for. There was barren land as far as I could see. There was tattered barbed wire in the abandoned lots where we were building and trash that lay all over the ground. The children ran around barefoot, And often they would have cuts from that tattered barbed wire that they would run over. But we found where we were building for day one, and we began to dig to lay the foundation for a house that we were going to build for a family there in need. And as we began digging, my arms are tired, and I'm like, shoot, I thought that I was a strong Iowa farm girl, but really, I feel kind of like a weak person right now. And as we would build and build, I began to be tired, and I wondered, what was I getting myself into? I soon became blinded by the work that was in front of me and didn't really realize what was really happening there. So on that final day, when we dedicated the house to the family, that the wife would say something that I would never forget. She said, in front of us stands this structure, and sure, it can be called a house, but what makes this place our home is the relationship that we have as a family and the friendship that we'll always share with all of you. And as I thought back on the week, I'd realized that that family was helping me to build my home. You see, in the midst of all the work, there were children running around constantly, and that was filled with pure joy of them kicking around a soccer ball, completely schooling us because we Americans apparently don't know how to play soccer. And the little girls, as we painted their nails for the first time, and their eyes lit up as big as this room. It was in the moments that we shared around the fire, where the family had just butchered some of their chickens from the farm and made their fresh fried chicken for us. In those moments, with pure hope and joy that this family had, they were helping me to build my home. Now, how are you helping others to build theirs? It can be as simple as greeting somebody in the hallway and telling them to have a great day. For some of us, it could be inviting that new classmate over to hang out for the weekend. For teachers and parents in here, maybe it's asking how our students are doing other than what's going on at school. Whatever it may be, we must help others to build their home. And now some of us might be thinking, hey, bruh, shoot, I got my home built. I am set to go. But what good is our own house, our own home, built up if it's sitting amongst the slum of everybody else's? Home is where the heart is. And once we build our own home, we have to help others build their home. And then ultimately protect that home. Now, how many of us love going to elementary school? Because we know the favorite part of that day is, what's our favorite part of elementary school? You know it, recess. Now, I loved recess growing up. And it meant leaving home, but it meant going to a small little schoolhouse where there was only 6 kids in my class. We were all crammed into a little room, so when it came to recess, we were ready to go out and have a good time. And I had one of my best friends, and he and I would rule the school grounds because we would kick everybody's butt in kickball. We would throw it down in foursquare, and it was just time for us to become the champs of the playground. And this was no ordinary day, because as I walked out to start owning the playground with my best friend, I was excited, but an expression was different on his face. I didn't think much of it because at the time I was only about 9 years old and I was just ready for recess, but he, on the other hand, kind of moped around, just carrying on, not really doing a whole lot. I didn't think much of it, like I said, so I headed back into school and continued on with the rest of the day. Then I hopped on the school bus, which everyone seemed to ride, and was pretty happy because I had had a great day at school. But as that boy headed on to the bus, he'd usually go to the back where all of the cool kids sat, but today was a bit different because he sat down in the front seat of the bus with slumped shoulders and just faced out the front window. Again, didn't think much of it, but what kind of struck a chord in me was when one of his classmates yelled from the back, "You're a crybaby! You're a crybaby!" And that little boy, with tears running down his face, sits up from his seat, turns to the back of the bus, and yells as he sobs, "Shut up!" Sits back down and stares again out that front window. In that moment, I realized that I wasn't protecting my home. I wasn't protecting my brother. I could have easily walked up to make sure he was okay, but I didn't even do that. I was scared and I retreated. And I get that high school is an uncomfortable place, but we must do the opposite of what I did on that school bus and protect that home. For some of us, it may just be simply checking in and making sure everything is okay with those who we love and are around us. So now the question is, are you protecting your home? When it comes to those convictions and beliefs that we have, are we standing true in them? When it comes to those people who we love the most, what are we doing to show them how much we love them? When it comes to building and protecting that home, are we building it on sand that will wither away with time, or are we building it on a rock that will withstand any storms that we ever weather? Home is where the heart is. Home is more than the physical structure we live in. Home is those people who we surround ourselves with. Home is that firm foundation that we build our lives upon. Ladies and gentlemen, we must build our home. Help others to build their home and ultimately protect that home because, as Dorothy says in The Wizard of Oz, there is no place like home.
Thank you, Ava, for being with us this week and inspiring us all this morning. We wish you the best of luck as you continue your year of service to the National FFA organization, and thank you so much for sharing your message about home with us today. Please accept this t-shirt as a token of our appreciation. Trace Adkins, Easton Corbin, Tim McGraw, and Taylor Swift. Each of these music artists were once members of FFA. Though they may now be superstars, they each wore the blue jacket. And like every member, they each had the opportunity to have a diverse supervised agricultural experience program. These next individuals are superstars in their respective SAEs. Our state winners will receive a $250 check with their award. At this time, we would like to thank our sponsors for providing the awards and allowing us to recognize these remarkable programs in our state. Also, we truly appreciate the time and talent that Mr. Bill Harlan has donated to the Kansas FFA Association by creating these videos. Join me in thanking these individuals. Please turn your attention to the screen for the first half of the 2016 Proficiency Award pageant.
This year's winner of the Forage Production Proficiency Award is James Borgerding from the Marysville FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Kansas Forage and Grassland Council Incorporated. James started out his SAE by asking his father if he could rent a 23.1 acre field for alfalfa production. Over the course of his SAE, he has learned a lot from his father and grandfather, like the importance of being prepared and having common tools and parts available so nothing slows him down. He has learned to operate machinery, take note of important weather patterns, and sell surplus to other local farmers. After high school, he plans to attend Kansas State University to major in agronomy and return to the family farm. James is the son of James and Melissa Borgerding. His advisors are Craig Lister and Annelle Meals. Well done, James.
This year's winner of the Forest Management and Products Proficiency Award is Wesley Jennings from the Salina Central FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by the Landau Corporation. Wesley's SAE focuses on his firewood business. Over the duration of his SAE, he has learned how to better market his product. He found that since many customers have varying truck beds, one standard price for a truckload was inconsistent among customers. He turned toward selling a standard cord of wood instead. He has also worked to improve efficiency and upgrade equipment which allows him to fill large orders quickly. Wesley plans to attend Kansas State University after graduation and major in agronomy, with the hopes to ultimately return to the Salina area. Wesley is the son of Brian and Lori Jennings. His advisor is Brooke Petty. Great job, Wesley.
This year's winner of the Fruit Production Proficiency Award is Judd Nelson from the Jackson Heights FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Farmway Co-op. For Judd's SAE, he helps his mother maintain her fruit trees and bushes. In total, he maintains 4 cherry trees, 2 pear trees, 4 apple trees, and 2 peach trees. In addition, he also has been assigned the task of planting new trees and ensuring their survival. In order to make picking the fruit on the top of the trees easier, Judd got innovative and created his own fruit picker. His plans after graduation include attending K-State and eventually going to study veterinary medicine. He hopes to someday take over his parents' dog kennel. Judd is the son of Jerry and Joanne Nelson. His advisor is Paul Lears. Way to go, Judd.
This year's winner of the Goat Production Proficiency Award is Caitlin Dreer from the Iola FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Animal Health International. Caitlin started her SAE by showing meat goats and has since grown her herd to 5 boar does. One of her greatest challenges during her project was managing urinary calculi, a common metabolic disease in male goats. It closely resembles human kidney stones and can be fatal if not recognized and treated. While treating 2 of her wethers for the disease, she learned to diagnose and manage it. Caitlin has also attended the International Boar Goat Association Nationals and was named a premier exhibitor in 2012. She plans on attending Hutchinson Community College to obtain a degree in animal science and marketing. Caitlin is the daughter of Jerry and Kathy Dreer. Her advisor is Charles Kerr. Congratulations, Caitlin.
This year's winner of the Grain Production Entrepreneurship Proficiency Award is Natalie Harris from the Chapman FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by the Kansas Wheat Commission. After growing up with an interest in her family operation, Natalie started out her own farming career cash renting a 7.7-acre field that she planted into wheat. She has now transitioned into renting out an 80-acre field that she planted into 32.2 acres of grain sorghum and 41.2 acres of wheat. Through this endeavor, she has learned how to make best management decisions for her crops. In addition, Natalie has also organized a county wheat test plot, which allows extension agents in her area to monitor different wheat varieties and how they grow in the area. Natalie is the daughter of Kevin and Rosemary Harris. Her advisors are Johanna Reichert and Alex Jost. Let's give Natalie a round of applause.
This year's winner of the Grain Production Placement Proficiency Award is Jace Adams from the Beloit FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by the Kansas Wheat Commission. Jace works on his family farm, which covers over 8,500 acres, over 4 counties in north central Kansas. Crops raised on the no-till operation include wheat, corn, sorghum, sunflowers, and soybeans. Jace frequently scouts his crops to monitor conditions and disease pressure, as well as to obtain soil samples. Pulling accurate information from a field provides a foundation for crop fertility decision-making, a lesson that Jace says has become easier with current technologies. He plans to attend North Central Kansas Technical College and work for a degree in agricultural technology with ultimate plans to return to the family farm. Jace is the son of Jeff and Connie Adams. His advisor is Brandon Calloway. Way to go, Jace!
This year's winner of the Home and Community Development Proficiency Award is Nicholas Ferguson from the Ottawa FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Sites Gift Fruit Incorporated. Nicholas is a volunteer firefighter for the Ottawa City and Franklin County Fire Departments. In addition to fighting fires in the area, Nicholas also helped to provide CPR training in the community. When he first started out, he was tasked with manual labor around the station, but he is now teaching others and is a senior member of the Grass Fire and Engine Companies, as well as an interior attack and hazmat personnel. Nicholas is attending Hutchinson Community College in the Fire Science program. He has obtained Wildland Firefighter Type 2 certification and plans to work this summer for the Kansas State Forestry Service. Nicholas is the son of Jerry and Leanne Ferguson. His advisor is Blake Lastly. Great job, Nicholas.
This year's winner of the Outdoor Recreation Proficiency Award is Jonathan Zimmerman from the Girard FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Cargill Meat Solutions. Jonathan works for the Hickory Creek Farms, an agritourism business founded by his family after experimenting with pumpkin production. Events hosted at the farm include family fun days and field trips for schools. The farm includes hayrack rides, barrel train rides, a corn maze, corn cannon, animal races, and more. Jonathan's duties include hoeing pumpkins, working cattle, and collecting and restoring antique tractors for use and display around the farm. After graduation, he plans on attending college and then returning to Hickory Creek Farms to expand the operation. Jonathan is the son of Stephen and Ruth Zimmerman. His advisors are Alan Boltinghouse and Joe Curran. Well done, Jonathan.
This year's winner of the Poultry Production Proficiency Award is Wyatt Anderson from the Mission Valley FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Cargill Meat Solutions. Wyatt began his SAE by purchasing 125 chicks of various breeds, including Buff Orpingtons, Rhode Island Reds, and Black Sex Links. After he marketed and sold his chickens on Facebook and Craigslist, he netted enough profit for a new crop as well as a new shed. He's continued to increase profits as well as maintain the daily care and responsibility of the animals. Wyatt's greatest challenge was finding a marketing plan that worked for him, a task that became easier with established clients. After graduation, he plans to be an entrepreneur in the agricultural industry. Wyatt is the son of Otto and Mary Hughes. His advisors are Kelly Holting and John Bergen. Great job, Wyatt.
This year's winner of the Sheep Production Proficiency Award is Elizabeth Meyer from the Marion Florence FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Harris Show Lambs. Elizabeth's SAE consists of raising a flock of both commercial and club lambs. She currently owns 21 ewes. In addition, Elizabeth co-owns a ram with her parents and brother. Her greatest challenge is lambing season. She says with the harsh Kansas climate, keeping her ewes and their lambs healthy can be very difficult, but she has learned to supplement minerals and monitor nutrition carefully. She also keeps a careful watch over the newborn lambs in the first 72 hours. By implementing these practices, she has cut her loss rates nearly in half. Elizabeth's career goal is to eventually become an agricultural education teacher. Elizabeth is the daughter of Mark and Marcia Meyer. Her advisor is Mark Meyer. Let's give Elizabeth a round of applause.
This year's winner of the Small Animal Production and Care Proficiency Award is Joel Nelson from the Jackson Heights FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Animal Health International. Joel has helped his parents breed and raise over 150 dogs to be sold nationwide. Joel raises the puppies until about 8 weeks old, at which point they are sold to pet stores. In addition, Joel has the opportunity to show some of the dogs on American Kennel Club and United Kennel Club circuits. He also assists in making some important breeding decisions. He looks for female dogs that are sound for breeding, good companions, and without any structural problems for health issues. Joel plans to attend college at K-State with hopes of becoming a veterinarian. Joel is the son of Jerry and Joanne Nelson. His advisor is Paul Lears. Congratulations, Joel.
This year's winner of the Specialty Animal Production Proficiency Award is Braden Carlgren from the Pike Valley FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Prairie School Farms. Braden owns and operates Braden's Bees, a specialty beekeeping operation. His interest in bees was sparked 3 years ago after he planted a small orchard on his family farm. He quickly realized how important bees would be to his orchard's success. So after some research, he started with 1 hive and approximately 4 pounds of bees with a laying queen. 1 year later, Braden has 8 hives and thousands of bees producing honey in 2 different locations. During his project, Braden has learned about bee handling, product management, and hive construction. His biggest challenge has been the placement of multiple hives. Braden is the son of Ryan and Lori Carlgren. His advisor is Katie Carlgren. Great job, Braden.
This year's winner of the Specialty Crop Production Proficiency Award is Austin Taylor from the Donovan West FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Heritage Tractor Incorporated. Austin works for his family's operation, Taylor Seed Farms. His grandfather started the business 35 years ago, and his family has seen it through significant growth. The business raises wheat and soybeans, which are marketed to local farmers. Being involved with his family business has solidified his interest in his childhood dream of being a farmer. As his passion for farming grew, so did his knowledge. He helps operate equipment, plant, harvest, apply nutrients and chemicals, and has been involved in purchasing decisions. After graduation, Austin plans on attending Highland Community College in the Precision Agriculture program and someday return to the family business. Austin is the son of Jason and Marla Taylor. His advisor is Elmer Schmitz. Way to go, Austin.
This year's winner of the Swine Production Entrepreneurship Proficiency Award is Hunter Johnson from the Washington County FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by the Kansas Pork Association. Hunter owns and operates Heirloom Pork, a farrow-to-finish operation. He provides pork for Heritage Foods, a company out of New York City that purchases specialty livestock and delivers it to restaurants nationwide. He raises 3-way crossbreed pigs of Gloucestershire Old Spot, Duroc, and Berkshire. He started his operation with 6 sows and has grown to 16 sows, 3 boars, and 40 growing, finishing pigs. Hunter also directly sells pork in the community and to grocery stores in Newton and Manhattan. After graduation, he plans on attending Kansas State University and pursuing a degree in sports law with the goal of becoming a sports agent. Hunter is a son of Kenneth and Sally Johnson. His advisor is John Kern. Let's give Hunter a round of applause.
This year's winner of the Swine Production Placement Proficiency Award is Chancellor Dewey from the Washington County FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by the Kansas Pork Association. Chancellor works for Livingston Enterprise Incorporated, a 24,000 head sow farrowing farm. He started working for LEI in 2011 and has learned how to vaccinate, heat check, artificially inseminate, monitor health and nutrition of the sows, maintains records and general maintenance on equipment and buildings. One valuable lesson Chancellor has learned is the controlling and adequate temperatures and air movement in a swine facility while being economically feasible. Doing this can make a major impact on the health of the animals. He plans to attend North Central Technical College and become an agricultural technician. Chancellor is the son of Robert Dewey. His advisor is John Kern. Well done, Chance.
This year's winner of the Turf Grass Management Proficiency Award is Dawson Miner from the Fort Scott FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Sod Shop Incorporated. Dawson started 4 Clover Mowing in March of 2012. He started off his business with 10 yards, but has since expanded to 30 lawns and cemeteries. He has learned more about plant science as he has gained knowledge about fertilizer application, calculating nutrient rations for various grass and turf varieties. His goal of financial independence in the business and ownership of his own equipment was accomplished in his 2nd year. Due to increased business, he has invested in larger commercial equipment, which has led to establishing relationships with local equipment dealers. Dawson plans to attend the John Deere Tech program at Fort Scott Community College. Dawson is the son of Robert and Linda Miner. His advisor is Kyle Parks. Congratulations, Dawson.
This year's winner of the Vegetable Production Proficiency Award is Margaret Roth from the Holcomb FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by DuPont Pioneer. Margaret has sponsored with the Pink Pumpkin Patch Foundation to grow pink pumpkins to raise money for breast cancer research. She chose this project because so many people are affected by breast cancer. For 2 years, Margaret has planted and grown almost 3 acres of porcelain doll pumpkins on her father's land, and 100% of the profits go to the foundation. She has also helped the foundation recruit other FFA chapters and 4-H clubs across the nation. After graduation, Margaret will go to Kansas State University and major in agribusiness with a long-term goal of becoming a sales rep for an ag company. Margaret is the daughter of Dwayne and Kim Roth. Her advisor is Marcy Vinjon. Way to go, Margaret.
This year's winner of the Veterinary Science Proficiency Award is Grace Lubke from the Marysville FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Kansas Veterinary Medical Association. Grace began working at Pony Express Veterinary Clinic as a clinic aide in 2013. She started off in the small animal facilities and performed daily feedings of cats and dogs. Now she administers medications, subcutaneous or intramuscular injections, prepares rooms and equipments, and restrains pets. She has also worked in the large animal facilities with loading and unloading cattle, drawing up volumes of solutions for injections, and gathering supplies for surgeries. The skills she's gained from the clinic have helped her better care for her own livestock and pets. Grace will attend Kansas State University with the intent to become a large animal veterinarian. Grace is the daughter of John and Diane Lubke. Her advisors are Craig Lister and Annelle Mills. Congratulations, Grace.
This year's winner of the Wildlife Production and Management Proficiency Award is Tanner Allen from the Mission Valley FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by the Kansas chapter of the National Wild Turkey Federation. Tanner maintains a 2-acre food plot that he plants every spring to feed wildlife such as bobwhite quail, turkey, and white-tailed deer. In addition, it provides cover for smaller game like birds and rabbits. He also sets up trail cameras to monitor coyote and raccoon populations. Tanner traps these animals, which keeps healthy populations of animals in a local ecosystem. Tanner also has built a trap shooting range which helps his shooting ability. He currently attends Neosho County Community College and plans to attend a 4-year university after graduation. Tanner is the son of Rodney and Ladine Allen. His advisors are Kelly Holting and John Bergen. Well done, Tanner.
Please join me in also thanking the Kansas Soybean Association for sponsoring the Fiber and Oil Crop Production Placement Award. Although there were no state winners, they did help sponsor them at each of the district levels. These members have shown us what it really means to amplify our experiences. Like the diversity of music through their supervised agricultural experience programs, they have each shown what they believe in the diversity of agriculture and the future of Kansas FFA. Members and supporters of the Kansas FFA Association should be extremely proud of the accomplishments of these members and their SAE programs. Each of these members will be representing Kansas this fall at the 89th National FFA Convention. Please join me in congratulating all of our State Proficiency Award winners for all of their efforts.
Our goals, our life.
Be sure to check out the Hall of Achievement in the lobby to see Kansas FFA members and chapters who amplified their experiences and their service to the agriculture industry with our 2 Model of Innovation chapters, 2 Nationally Proficiency Award winners, and 6 National Proficiency finalists who represented Kansas at last year's National Convention. The famous musician Bono once said, "Music can change the world because it can change people." Just like music, Kansas FFA members are changing the world through community involvement, participation in supervised agricultural experiences, and the dedication to earn their American FFA degree. Just like Pharrell Williams, I am so happy to have served as your chair for this session on this great Thursday morning. I would now like to call upon Kansas FFA President Carl Wilhelm to assume the duties of the chair.
Mr. Secretary, do you have a record of any further business which should now be transacted?
Yes, I do, Mr. President. The extemporaneous public speaking career development event finals will begin at 11 a.m. in the Tadman Boardroom on the 2nd floor of the K-State Alumni Center. The prepared public speaking finals will start at 1 p.m. in the same location. At noon, the Proficiency Awards Luncheon for all Proficiency Award winners, their parents, and sponsors will be held in the ballroom at the K-State Alumni Center. The 3rd session of the 88th Kansas FFA Convention will start at 2 p.m. We will hear the retiring address from your Kansas FFA reporter, Kyler Langvart, listen to K-State Director of Bands, Dr. Frank Trace, and recognize the second half of our Proficiency Award and Scholarship winners. Would the advisors of the Clay Center and Uniontown FFA chapters please report backstage following this session? Chapters being recognized in the Scrapbook Awards, please send 1 representative to seats B 2 through 18 before session 3. Those chapters include Center, Chapman, Cherryvale, Fredonia, Girard, Northern Valley, and southeast of Saline.
Thank you. Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should properly come before this session? We are about to adjourn this 2nd session of the 88th Kansas FFA Convention. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent in labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and, above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, join me in a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now declare this 2nd session of the 88th Kansas FFA Convention adjourned.
We lead with our voice, amplify, crank it up, soar it into greatness. There's no such thing as loud enough. We lead with our voice, amplify, crank it up, soar it into greatness. Ain't no such thing as loud enough. Stand up and get loud. Speak up, speak out. Reach up and take hold. Surge into life, a light that is strong. Amplify. Our goals, our life, our voice. Amplify. FFA. Amplify. Our goals, our life, our voice. Amplify. We about the action, honor, integrity. Boost up your impact, up into infinity. Electrify your voice, speak out. Crank it up until it leaves no doubt. Sprint into a life where we